Hey everybody, Muta here, and I just wanted to make it as clear as possible. This podcast is not over because of Nux and his situation currently.
Now that is a hard backtrack if I've ever heard one.
Podcast is done, yeah. Podcast is done now.
Yeah, so this is coming off the heels of the Shadman discussion, so it really does look like, Shadman stuff happens, Nux caught in the crossfire, podcast done. Realistically, podcast being done is for completely other reasons, and it is a total coincidence that it's happening at the same time as the Shadman stuff. Again, I don't expect people to believe me, because people are taking everything I say out of context in the ugliest possible of ways, so I will definitely let Muta doing the talking for me. Like he says over here, nothing to do with our relationship with Nux. Literally nothing to do with it, by the way. But anyway.
I know, by all the times Muta has dodged the epic woli thing about you, I think that his word, at least in regards to you, should be taken with a pinch of salt. And I'm gonna show why. Yo, what's up guys? So apparently Nux Taku on his second channel, nuxanor, made a reply that's supposed to just destroy everybody and make sure we all have egg on our face or something.
Let's see the rest of the clip, because it is pretty damning, I'm not gonna lie. I think Muta definitely misspoke a little bit here.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the podcast is over. We are not filming the last episode. It's over.
Yep. Podcast.
Is that are you serious?
Yep.
Yeah, we're not doing the podcast anymore. It's done.
Why?
We're supposed to film on Tuesday. Well, there's a couple reasons for it. A lot of that was obviously some of the Shad stuff too, because we were kind of sitting there, we're like, me and Caleb, we were just like, this is, I don't know, it's weird. The other thing was weird.
There's so much I wish I could say, but I promised I would not say it yet. We gotta wait. Frick, I don't want to say anything and throw anyone else under any buses here with why the podcast is stopping the way it is. The point is, it's literally all for behind-the-scenes restructuring. It has nothing to do with me and my association with Shadman at all. Zero. In fact, it's the least to do with me out of the three of us as to why this podcast is stopping right now. It's going on hiatus. Hopefully we will pick up something. We do have an epic project plan potentially in the works, which again, not exactly the place to shout out future ventures and stuff, but yeah, nothing to do with me. And Muta even says, for context, your podcast is ending for a lot of behind-the-scenes restructuring at the moment. Nothing to do with me. It's purely business and behind-the-scenes shit.
This is a 30-minute video, so we'll be going out over like every receipt, everything Nux has to offer this Friday on MrSEN Tonight, but we're also going to be covering a variety of topics, including Ricada Law. You already know what it is. But yeah, we'll be going over all that. Let's do a quick dissection though, a quick one. As you know, the title of this video is Mutahar backtracks on Nux Taku, or backpedals. I'm still to be decided on what I want it to be. But now we got Muta kind of in the hot seat, right? I actually like this response because it exposes a lot of people for being stupid. One of which being Muta, the other one being Nux, and the third one being, well, the commentary community as a whole. Let's start with the commentary community as a whole.
This story continued to spiral out of control because I see this video on my feed, Nux Taku kicked from SomeOrdinaryPodcast. Absolutely not because of Shadman. And this is a whole train of worms. That's not a real expression, but goddamn, crazy situation to learn about getting fired from my podcast from some guy's video. To be clear, this is just false information. I was not fired from my podcast.
Initially, this agenda was spread by that community, and a content creator that has kind of a bridge built ever since the Mama Mac situation with that community is a creator known as Chud Logic, which I personally don't have anything against. The thing that I know Chud most from is defending Lyrics from his lolly controversy because Lyrics didn't want to debate me himself after I found out that he lied a lot. So there was that. But other than that, you could say that Chud pushed the agenda or the misinformation and framed it in a way to where it looked like Muta was kicking Nux to the curb. So L commentary community as per usual. This is what happens when you start orbiting Nicholas the Oreo. You know, shit starts getting a little bad. But whatever, I'm sure the clout will save him. On to somebody else who the clout will save. Well, Nux or Muta? Who do we start with here? I guess Muta. We'll save Nux for the grand finale.
If you haven't noticed, the weekly podcast, some of the episodes might have been a little bit phoned in. There was a lot of rambling, so me and Caleb and Nux have basically decided that it's better to restructure the podcast, basically have ownership ourselves, and to the point of actually making a set, so we do more IRL stuff. So a lot of it is really set on, building a set. I'm flying down to Texas more often, hopefully down the road, to be filming IRL and doing the podcast with Caleb. More so like you would see with typical IRL style podcasts where you can actually do the hosts on camera standing next to each other, and one where we don't necessarily even need to have a guest every week, try to figure out how to get Nux on the entire show, being the fact that he lives in an NFT land and an NFT world, so to get him onto the actual podcast is another challenge itself. So it's really something where we're taking some time to stop the podcast, restructure, and possibly rebrand it and get the ownership directly under all three of us, which is something we didn't necessarily have with the Some Ordinary podcast. So I hope that clears things up.
So Muda over here, in the initial interaction with Chud, never stops to correct the record at all. In fact, if he did, I'm not sure why the commentary community dipwits on Twitter would post it without any context and just go with it as is. Oh yeah, because they love smearing people and causing a bunch of shit. Like I said, this is exposing a bunch of people and I fucking love it. Anyway, back to Muda. Nowhere does he ever stop to correct the record at all. It's a little suspicious. In fact, I'll go one step further. It's a little suspicious that Muda says the word woli in this, and also in the same vein says that there's no way Nux didn't know. So you already know Nux is dabbling with some of that woli, some of that shit you call anime CP, right, Muda? Never mind the fact that you follow Reb Says Desu, and I've already pointed out how it's weird that you would do that considering Reb has questionable shit on his timeline all the fucking time that you would consider to be woli. Never mind that fact. But fucking backtracking like this, I mean, let me show you a fucking thumbnail of your bestie over here, because you seem to have so many good things to say about him and blah 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 blah, and I don't see you give anybody else that shared ability that is possibly dabbled with this kind of stuff. Let me just show you one, okay? And of course I gotta blur it out. I know some weebs out there are gonna be like, this is a nothing burger, and I'm like, alright, but to Muda and to these people that Muda and Nux associate with, this is animated CP. Now why the hell would you associate with a guy that uses what you call animated CP as his thumb?
Yeah. Oh no.
Can we just at least appreciate the fact that out of all of the HoloLive English girls, Gura's like the teeny weeny little lolly in the group, and she is by far the most lewd. And she's the most popular.
Because let me tell you what that is. That's Gurgura, my dudes. Gurgura, for those of you that don't know, you might have heard a certain grifter named Ridney Venti that's been complaining about it, calling it animated CP for the longest time, and it's been all over X, all over Twitter, whatever you want to call it. So I know Muda is not, blinded to that. Of course, if he wants to say that there's no way Nux didn't know about Shad's drawings, there's no way you don't know about Nux using these kinds of things, bro. Alright? I'm tired of playing nice. I'm tired of giving infinite benefits of the doubt. It's bullshittery, bro. It's fucking bullshittery. I think this backtrack was the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, because it's so blatant, the backtrack. It is so blatant, and it just lets, just leaves a bad taste in your mouth, especially because of all this stuff where it's like, Muda, you know this already. Stop bullshitting. Stop playing this game. Stop pretending like your friend doesn't dabble in this stuff. Which finds brings us to the final person, the final boss in this situation, which would be Nux. Now, apparently, allegedly, Nux debunked something, however that might be. It's kind of hard to debunk intention. Because all we got to go off of is Nux literally saying that he wanted to collab with Shad, and then you just have to kind of take his word for the rest. What we also uncovered is a bunch of fucking, apparently Nux loving to put woli on his thumbnails because lol, why not? It's kind of weird that you would put what you consider to be animated CP in your thumbnails. I guess I could kind of understand why Reb and his fan base were so pissed off at you now, because you are a blatant fucking hypocrite at this point. It's very hilarious to see that. No hate, homie. We're not friends, though, and I gotta call it like it is. How are you gonna call this shit animated CP and say it's for predators or pedos or whatever, and then just literally use that same shit on your fucking thumbnails, you fucking hypocritical scumbag. Oh, it's so fucking blatant too, it's disgusting. You can see why people dislike this guy. But he is so charismatic. I can see why he entices Indian tech support like Muta and makes him overlook his woli. I don't know, it's just so fucking stupid all around. Anyway, that's a quick condensed version of the thing. Commentary community is bad at fucking presenting something factual, which is probably why they try so fucking hard to give themselves credibility. And again, all you gotta do is like see a couple Diorio treats to see how hard he tries to be credible and how hard he tries to push his little friends to be credible too. Like the worst kind of fucking journalism ever. And then Muta, who we know at this point is gonna fucking clearly be lying about not know, like, it's so fucking stupid, right? It's so dumb that you continue to call Wally, I'm sorry, I can't say that magic word on YouTube because I don't know. Wonder why that could be. But it's kind of dumb for you to continue to call Wally animated CP when you associate with Nux, when you know Nux make these thumbnails, when you know Nux has known what Shad made. I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. Muta, give him the hypocrite award too, okay? Oh my god, and Nux, what does he call himself? The serial flex offender or whatever? Keep on the charisma because that's the only thing saving you in this landscape. You know, being loud and boisterous and quirky and cool or something. It's weird. This entire situation's weird. Nux really does come off fake as shit though, especially with the Wally bullshit. You can't be a VTuber, you can't be in the anime community and not come across this type of artwork, my dude.
Yeah. Oh no.
Can we just at least appreciate the fact that out of all of the HoloLive English girls, Gur is like the teeny weeny little lolly in the group, and she is by far the most lewd. And she's the most popular.